Alright.
Alright. Welcome back, everyone, to the second episode of Fancy Chairs, where we talk about media and pop culture. I have with me again my friend Dom. I introduced you for yourself. I'm sorry about that, but here he is.
I am here. I'm ready to talk about dinosaurs
Yes.
and Jeff Goldblum.
In case you couldn't tell by the Jeff Goldblum sneaking behind the chair, we're going to talk about Jurassic World Dominion today. Or I guess the Jurassic Park. We'll probably talk about the Jurassic Park franchise as a whole. Yeah, I was going to say.
The Jurassic Park, there's 6 of them. What would that be called?
Sextilogy? Isn't that?
Yeah, alright.
No, is it Sep or Sex the 6 or 7?
I think it's Sep? Hold on.
I was saying, let me look it up.
We'll figure this out. Okay, we're very qualified to talk about this.
A trilogy of 6 movies. It's called. Oh, what do you call it? It's a hexology. Hexology?
Oh,
that doesn't sound.
That doesn't sound right, but whatever.
Okay, that makes sense. I thought it was like 5, but that's penta. But you know what? That's not Jurassic World or Jurassic Park. So, in what?
The Jurassic franchise.
Yes, it all started with a book and an author, and then it became a movie, and then it became a franchise. Somewhere along the line,
a movie that invented real dinosaurs. True fact.
A movie that kind of just was like, you know what? Why don't we just bring these things to life? You know, which was cool.
Mm-hmm.
As a kid, I loved Jurassic World. It was one of my Jurassic Park. I keep saying Jurassic World. Jurassic Park, one of my favorite movies, because like even now, I'm a simple man. I see dinosaurs, I'm like, yes, you did a good thing.
Yeah.
Even Velocipaster was, it had dinosaurs, so that.
Dude, like, what guy doesn't like dinosaurs?
I know, right?
Like, it's quite literally impossible to be a guy and not like dinosaurs.
Exactly.
It's just science.
It's just like every person you walk up to, like, it's not even just like dudes, like it's every person everyone has their favorite dinosaur.
Mm-hmm.
And then
everyone has a dino memory.
Yes.
Like I gotta be honest, there was like a period of time I would define as like the golden age of dinosaurs in media. Sadly, we don't live in that golden age anymore, but there was a golden age.
I remember
I would say that starts with Jurassic Park as the start of the golden age.
Yeah, I remember the Land Before Time series, or at least the first one, which I grew up with. The first and the second one I had on VHS, and I would watch those like all the time. It was those two and Jurassic Park were my big dinosaur things.
Right. So mine was the original Jurassic Park, and it was also actually no, it wasn't the original one. It was more Jurassic Park 3 because I saw the original one. I liked the original one, but Cartoon Network for some reason always used to play Jurassic Park 3, and I loved Jurassic Park 3 growing up. And the other thing was Power Rangers Dino Thunder. I'm sure most people around our age remember Power Rangers Dino Thunder.
Yeah, I didn't really watch because I didn't grow up with cable, but like I knew that was like those shows that are like so popular, even people who like don't have like the streaming or stuff like that, they know about it. Mm-hmm. That was Dino Thunder for me.
Fuck yeah, dude, Dino Thunder's epic. It's all on YouTube if you ever want to watch it. We should watch it sometime. We
should have like a series where we just like pull up old episodes or something and just watch it. But yeah, Jurassic Park 3 too. So when I was younger, we had I don't know if it was a VHS or the DVD of either the second one or the first one, and we just had that one. And then one day at Walmart, there was like a collection of movie. It was like it was supposed to be, when they like re-release movies and it's like in those cool little like covers and whatnot.
The boxes, yeah.
Well, it was like that, but it wasn't a box. So for some reason they were selling them, but we didn't grab the third one, so the third one was always elusive for me. But whenever I could get my hands on it, I watched the hell out of that because I was like, because Spinosaurus is my favorite dinosaur, and it had Spinosaurus. I was like, damn, I like this movie.
Yeah, no, like I said, Cartoon Network always played the third one, and I had seen the first one, but the second one, for the longest time, I swear to God, it was like a myth to me. The mythical and legendary Jurassic Park 2 with Jeff Goldblum, you know? Like,
Yes.
I haven't seen it. I've never seen clips of it. Is it even real? Does it exist? Eventually, I saw the movie. But for the longest time, it was always just like, nah, is it real, though? As, you know, it was never on TV. I never saw it, never owned it. And, you know, so then, like, I don't know if you've ever been to Universal Studios, but they do bring up Jurassic Park 2 on the tour because, you know, the famous scene in Jurassic Park 2 where, like, the trailers are falling, like, falling off the side of the cliff. They filmed that on top of the studio's parking garage that you see, like, almost instantly on the tour. They bring it up every time, and it's like, Jurassic Park 2 isn't real. What are you talking about?
I know, just you're right though, because like everyone gets on the third one's back for being bad, and everyone loves the first one. But like no, there's like that, you know, like missing sibling. It's just no one talks about, no one like remembers, and then when they like, it only gets brought up, and then it like boom disappears.
It's unfortunately a middle child. I've seen it. I actually really liked the second one because I eventually saw it, and it was just like there's a lot of cool stuff in it, like the Velociraptors hunting all the people at night in the field, the T-Rex in San Diego.
Yeah,
it's actually very enjoyable.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah. It's not like it's a bad movie either. I feel like it's like, what's that one X-Men character that like you don't know about him until you're like looking at him, and then but once you like look away,
you turn around, you forget about that. Yeah,
that's the second one.
That's Jurassic Park 2.
Yeah, but it's not a bad movie.
Then, here's the thing: is I feel like the worst Jurassic Park movie is better than the most mediocre Jurassic World movie. Like, cause I really liked the first Jurassic World, but after that one, this franchise really fucking overstays its welcome.
Yeah.
Like, like, the second one was just filled with a lot of like stupid decisions, bad ideas, a lot of unnecessary stuff, and then the third one just continues. The third Jurassic World just continues that trend of dumbness, I guess.
Yeah,
is the best way to...
And I was about to say, like, it's similar to, we talked about this in the last episode, but it's similar to the whole Star Wars thing where it's like, yeah, the first one is good because it's basically the first one in new like paints and whatnot. And it's just like, because if you think about it, it's just, oh look, dinosaur escape. Whoever saw this coming, you know? And,
right.
But yeah, you're right. It just kept going downhill from there. My one of my friends that I watched the movie with, he thought that they were leading up to dinosaur human hybrids, and the whole time he was expecting mansaurs to just come on screen.
That would have been way more.
Yeah, I was gonna say, honestly, I would have rather watched that movie than
than Locust.
Yeah, or what was going on.
But if you don't know, the main villain of Jurassic World Domino is Locust. Locust.
It's just like, all right, so we have, you know, dinosaurs. Okay, cool. You know, dinosaurs. Okay, cool. Like, interesting stuff. And it's like, you know what? But I think we're overselling the dinosaur bit. We need something new. Bugs. Bugs. Yeah. Bugs are scary.
There was a lot. The most interesting thing about Jurassic World Domino was definitely the original cast getting back together, but that's just because it was the original cast. Their story that they were in was still very stupid. That only somehow, I still don't really get it, but it did wind up intertwining with the other character stories from like fucking Owen and Bryce Dallas Howard's character, Claire. Her name is Claire. And I forgot for a second. But my God, they were fine in the first Jurassic World, but they really overstayed their welcome with the second one. I mean, the franchise even forgot about her nephews.
Yeah, because like, I like how you remembered Bryce Dallas Howard's name and not the character she played. Because let's be honest, we're not when we see her character, we don't think her character. We think, oh, Bryce Dallas Howard.
Bryce Dallas Howard.
And it's just like, and this is the same thing with Chris Pratt too. We don't what's his name?
It's Owen.
Oh yeah, Owen. I don't
Yeah.
see Owen. I see Chris Pratt.
Chris
It's
Pratt.
like, okay.
Oh my god, dude. Okay, so like the hit. I went real fast. I want to talk about his fucking Chris Pratt's character. Like his hand thing. In the first one, I got it. He only did it with the Raptors because that was like the bond he formed with them.
Yeah,
But then he does that with every dinosaur, and it's just like, what the fuck is going on with the hand thing?
exactly. And I was like, I was like, I feel like if I tried that, like, and it's the thing where it's different species, right? And you could say that dinosaurs are, they're not the same species, but I guess they're in a way kind of like dogs or mammals, where like they're all like categorized, but they're different things.
Right.
If I tried, if I do it with my dog, obviously it's something like, oh, she recognizes me. But if I tried that shit on a bear, like, chances are it's not gonna work. Oh,
yeah,
man.
I like, I can like distract my cat with a ball of yarn. I tried that on a wild mountain lion. I don't think it's gonna work.
Try it with the tiger. It's like, it's like, I was expecting something, or every time he did that, I knew he wasn't gonna die, but I was kind of hoping like he would get Dennis
Just
Nedry,
once.
and he'd like, you know how Dennis tried to like play fetch with the dinosaur.
Yeah, with the dinosaur.
Oh man,
I do remember that. Yeah. My God.
Dennis goated for that for real, man. Like,
also, another thing, I can't believe these like the Jurassic World movies. They definitely, starting in the first Jurassic World, we're setting up something with Henry Wu, like something very evil with him, and then he just like wasn't the villain.
Yeah.
And instead it was fucking Hobson. Hobson. The dude from the first movie that
the
was
military
in it for, like,
guy.
I don't even think he was military. I think it was just another company. It was just like it was the guy that basically told Dennis, "Here's a shaving can. Get dino DNA."
From the first Jurassic World?
Yeah, from the first one.
I think it was just because remember they tried to like weaponize the raptors and whatnot. I think it was just like military.
No, that was the first Jurassic World. I mean the first Jurassic Park.
Jurassic Park. Yeah.
No, to be fair, Jurassic Park always has like the Jurassic Park series has always had a problem with villains. There's one thing though. These movies don't need villains, honestly. Just have people fight for their lives against dinosaurs. That's it. I don't know why these movies try to overcomplicate it with villain. Because in the first one, I guess you can make an argument that Dennis is the villain for like turning all the power off and letting the dinosaurs loose, but at the same time, there really is no villain. Yeah. You know, it's literally just people fighting, like trying to survive against killer animals.
Yeah.
And then the second one, I guess it does kind of work a little bit with like poachers and like John Hammond's other evil grandson, much older than his other grandson. It's like, okay, yeah, I can kind of see that one working. And then the third one, again, there's no villain. It's literally just, again, people fighting for their lives on a new island in a new environment.
Yeah, I was going to say Jurassic World was better when it was treated like a survivalist kind of, not, I guess, survivalist thriller versus an action movie. Because like the first one is literally just a bunch of, for lack of a better word, a bunch of nerds fighting for their lives.
Like, no, that's exactly what it is. A bunch of losers, a bunch of nerds, fucking Poindexters.
And the thing about like no villains, like the whole point of the Jurassic Park idea is the fact that it's not about villains. It's the fact that humans are humans. It'll just like screw everything up. Like you can't play God if you're a human.
Don't play God.
Yeah. And
that's it. That's the moral.
Yeah, because even the original book, like, it didn't have a villain, but like the villain was kind of like John Hammond, and in the end, the book, he dies. So like he kind of gets what he deserves, and that's what I thought they were gonna do with Wu, because they didn't do it with John Hammond because he was more like the naive, optimistic person.
Yeah, it was more like a nice little grandpa.
Yeah, but then Henry Wu was like. Because Henry Wu was being set up that in the Jurassic World, because he only appeared for like 2 minutes in the Jurassic Park series.
He was like, yeah, he showed up for like 2 minutes at most in the original Jurassic Park, and then he was the only original returning cast member for Jurassic World.
Yeah, I was about to say, because he's the first one that returned. I was like, oh, that's interesting. They got it, like they got the same actor too. It wasn't just like this.
Yeah, no, it's not just the character. It is the same actor and everything. Yeah, so clearly, this was supposed to be something, right?
Yeah, and quick side note: I find it really funny how the villain of the Dominion or Domino was the guy from the first movie that people barely recognized then, and the fact that they got a different actor because apparently the original actor got like arrested or something and is still like in jail. I find it really funny how they like try to they really try to draw straws here, man. And it's like,
Again, just to make Wu the villain.
exactly, he was being set up because they literally basically forcibly took him away because you remember the end of the first Jurassic World, he was like, "You're coming with us," and come. It's basically like, "We're not finished with you yet." But then nothing happens. He just gets another job.
He just got another job at another place, and it's just like, I can make you the Indoraptor. I just need Blue's DNA or some shit like that.
Yeah. And
Only then will the Indoraptor be tame. And it's like, okay, does this actually mean it? No.
I
The
find it really
Indoraptor was
funny.
also very fucking dumb. But yeah, you go off
Yeah,
your point.
I find it really funny how in the Jurassic World like that, or you can kind of extend it to Jurassic Park, but the whole idea is like, let's make something dangerous. What? We can't control it? Damn, that sucks. Well, make it more deadly. And it's like, what? Like, does no one learn?
The dumbest thing I ever fucking heard was in the Jurassic World movie. Where they're just like, kids are starting to be bored by dinosaurs. I'm just like, that's definitely not it. It's probably just too expensive to come here. Because one, children would never be bored by dinosaurs. Two, it's a zoo. Everybody loves zoos. Nobody gets bored by zoos or aquarium. Literally anything involving animals, people never get bored with. Especially if it involves dinosaurs. This is the only place you can see them. You're definitely just overcharging these people. And your decision is to make something even deadlier that's even more of an abomination against God.
Exactly. And like when I heard that, I was like, ain't no way people would ever be bored of dinosaurs. Like, I would sell my firstborn child to go back to Jurassic World if it was a place. Like, I would want to see that, and it's like,
I'd love to see dinosaurs in real life.
I
I get
forgot
it.
what video it was, but there's a video that brought up the point where it's like, if sales were down, how come the park was full of people?
Yeah, that was a pretty crowded park. Sales are down my ass.
Yeah. I was like, I wonder how much tickets were, because it's like,
Yeah.
because not only did they have the people like paying admission for the park, they also had a bunch of name brands out there too. Wasn't there like, was there like a Starbucks or something there? I don't
Yeah,
know.
they had like fucking like brand restaurants in there. They were definitely selling a shit ton of merch. Like, they're bullshit that sales are down.
Yeah,
Sales are down from what? Like a billion to 900 million? Like,
yeah, it
I
was it was a it was a stretch, but it was a decent movie. It was like,
yeah. Overall, the first Jurassic World is still decent because it's, well, one, it showed like the original place like in an abandoned state, which this is just a me thing, but like I love seeing like just like stuff, like recognizable stuff, like in kind of a decaying form. I find it like very interesting, so I really like that they included that. But
yeah,
also it's a new brand of paint on the same story, but it's done well. I really like the new characters, and it's not, and you don't need like the old characters to really come in and carry it. And I still really do like the first Jurassic World. It's
hmm,
just that by the second movie, where they forget some of the characters and like do a bunch of stupid shit, where it starts to go downhill. And I personally feel like there was supposed to be no Jurassic World sequels. I think the first one was just supposed to be its own standalone thing. That then they were just like, this movie got really popular. Let's make a trilogy. And there's
yeah.
like, but we didn't plan one. Well, it's like too fucking bad. You gotta make it.
And that actually does
And
make
that's
sense because like how you mentioned that none of them came back from the first one. Well, everyone that appeared in the second one came back in some way or another in the third one, and it's like, yeah, this seems like, after the first one they're like, ooh, it made money, and so they just kind of ran with it.
yeah.
But
No, I hate it when fucking the studios do that. It's like if it's not meant to have sequels,
don't
don't
make a
try to
sequel.
do
Yeah,
sequels unless you can like 100% pull it off and it makes sense. You know?
yeah, and
Because
even
at
then,
least
it's
with
like,
Jurassic Park, at least with like Jurassic Park 2, there was like a book sequel to go off of. So
yeah, I was about to say the source material just it stops at the second book, but like the third one wasn't. It was okay. It's not as bad as people
Mhm.
give it credit for, but it was still like decent. You can kind of tell that they
Yeah,
fell off because of the lack of source material,
right.
but even then, like things like I'm blanking on movies right now, but even if there wasn't any planned sequel, it's nice to set up something. Basically, how do I put this? It's nice to one plan the sequel out anyways. You know, like if there's no planned
Hmm.
sequel, be like, oh, you're gonna have to make a sequel. All right, let's plan this out so that we could make it connect to the first one as seamlessly as possible. But with Jurassic
Right,
World, it's just like, okay, we're getting something here, and then boom, the second one comes around, and it's like, what the hell is this?
right.
And it's so I'm so freaking dumb. The other day, someone I knew was like, oh, I kind of like the third movie, and I was like, what? Like you can like it all you want, and then they were like, we didn't have an argument, but we kind of had like a discussion about it, and I was like,
Hmm.
the thing is the third Jurassic World, or yeah, Jurassic World Domino isn't the worst movie to come out, but it is the most transparent Hollywood movie to be out there. This is the
Yes.
pinnacle of like Hollywood blockbuster,
Hmm.
where there's just
Yeah.
explosions, hot, and people like hot people playing characters, celebrities and
Right.
whatnot.
Hmm.
And
It.
especially now with like people complaining about like CGI and stuff, and like sometimes I get it. Like sometimes it's like, hey, some you wouldn't be able to pull some stuff off without CGI. But then sometimes I'm like, yeah, it's understandable when people have gripes with Marvel and stuff for putting too much CGI. Because when you
Hmm.
watch a couple of like older movies or movies that don't employ CGI as much, you kind of miss that whole like, it was really nice to see like shots just be shots, and just have like the camera
Yeah.
moving around. Um, I
Uh,
forgot which
but
movie I watched recently, but it just reminded me of how much you could do with just like the physical aspect and like
right. I mean, yeah. You also have to remember that like the original Jurassic Park movie like revolutionized CGI because
hmm
so a lot of the dinosaurs they were like puppets and like actually practical, but then like there were still some that were CGI, and to this day the CGI scenes still do look amazing in
hmm
the original Jurassic Park. Somehow they butchered that. How many years has it been? It's been over 20 years, closer to 30, and they've somehow gone backwards with their CGI effect.
yeah.
I I don't know how you go backwards with technology. How do
and
you do that?
and it's like you said before, the whole like the mixture of practical and CGI. I think that's what really sold the first one, was because when they didn't need to, when they didn't need to use CGI, they used practical effects. And if you look at it, most of the practical is when the people were interacting with something.
With the dinosaurs? Yeah.
Versus in the new ones,
Hmm.
like it looks cool on screen, and it kind of looks like if you cover your if you take the scene, I think with what's his name, Chris Pratt
It's Pride and
and
Blue.
yeah, Blue. If you cover one eye and you block out Chris Pratt, Blue looks amazing. You cover the other eye, look at Chris Pratt. He's acting. I don't want to say like he's CGI, but like he looks good, like in just like without Blue. But when you put them both in the frame, it just looks off. Like
It looks off. Yeah.
you could tell he's just like acting with a
He's
blue
holding it
screen
up to like a
behind him.
tennis ball. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like holding his hand up to a tennis ball. Yeah, no, because like you're right. I think that's what it is. Because in like the Jurassic World movies, when they're interacting with dinosaurs, those dinosaurs are CGI when they should be practical. Because it's not
Mm-hmm.
like cause, like the only dinosaurs that were CGI in the original Jurassic Park were like the ones that were far away and not like directly interacting.
And
So
that's what really sells it more, because
yeah,
you don't have to be detailed if it's far away. Like it's
right.
they could
No,
use that
honestly,
to their
yeah. If
advantage.
you're interacting with dinosaurs, that should be a fucking puppet. Love of God, you have the technology.
Exactly. And it's like, um, what was it? Like you said, there's been like 30 years of things, and not only has CGI improved, but I'm sure animatronic building, I guess, or whatever that was, improved as well. And I think that's my biggest problem with CGI is that like it's not bad, and anyone who does it is you have a really good skill set. I think my
Hmm.
problem is when they is using it as a crutch for things that you don't need to use it for. Because there's a certain level of like, because think about like the old Star Wars films, like they couldn't like CGI the ships onto the screen. They had to be creative about it, and it still looks
Right.
really good, and it has like a feel to it. Now I feel like you can't really differentiate some studio works. You know what I'm saying? Where it's
Yeah,
like
I know
if you see
exactly what you're
CGI
saying.
in one movie, it looks the exact. It's not. You can't really stylize CGI because it's supposed to be for most like uses of it. It's supposed to make things look realistic. And so
Right.
you can't have like that stylized. Oh, this looks like a this person's film, or this looks like a shot from this movie. With CGI, it's just like, oh, okay, like my
Yeah.
my
No,
favorite forms of
or-
CGI are the ones where it's stuff you don't notice, like in
mhm.
Transformers. The robots obviously CGI, but my favorite
Right.
parts of those movies are the CGI where it's just like maybe like the dust, because that like it looks
Mm,
like it kind of looks real, but that's the stuff where it's like those are the people who like do like finer detail and it make it kind of fit into the shot. And that's my
right.
favorite kind, only because it's like I just kind of like you kind of notice that maybe it's not real, but maybe it is, and it's like they did a really good job at that.
Yeah. No, I get that. CGI truly is just it can be a wonderful tool, but it can also be just the downfall of just of media in general, honestly, because you people eventually will rely on it too much, and it won't look as good as they want it to. I mean, I think the Lion King is the perfect example. The 2019 Lion King is like the perfect example of relying too much on CGI, and because it's like, oh, we gotta make the lions look realistic, but like nobody wants to fucking see that. If they wanted to see that, they would just watch a fucking nature documentary.
Exactly, and it's like the I find it really funny how people are calling it the live action, but
Action.
it's just animation.
It's animated. Yeah, no, and I feel like we've had this conversation before because it's an animated movie because 100% animated in CGI. So where does the line start to finally be drawn between what is live action and what is animated with shit
Hmm.
like The Lion King? Because that's an animated movie. It is not a live action film at all.
Yeah, and technically speaking, if you like, obviously it's animation, but like technically speaking, nowadays with all the CGI being employed, you can compare it to something like Who Framed Roger Rabbit, which
Mm-hmm.
does a mixture of both. But like I said, that one was more stylized. Now you can't tell.
Yeah, no, Who Framed Roger Rabbit? That's like a perfect example of like a mix between animated and live action, where it's just straight up, and there's a style to it. You can tell like this is somebody's cartoony style. People are having fun with it. Now it's just like it's a business tool. That's okay. Listen, the point I'm trying to get at is just like CGI, and for like small stuff, shouldn't really be being used the way it's being used. It's being used wrong, and they're
Yeah,
somehow going backwards with it.
yeah,
You can use it to do stuff that like you can't do with live action, and no one's really taking advantage of that. It's
yeah,
just that's the case with all animation, but still.
yeah. And it's like because apparent. Okay, so I'm not sure if it's true. I'm honestly I wouldn't be surprised if it was. But apparently, have you seen the Chip and Dale movie?
Yes.
So the guy that's
Yeah.
selling the cheese.
Yeah.
Apparently, he's not a puppet. He's CGI.
Fucking
And
really.
and if and the thing is, it's like even if it wasn't true, I feel like that's the direction that most studios are taking. Where it's like instead of getting someone to like man the puppet, they'd rather just CGI it.
They'd
And
rather
it's
just
like
CGI the puppet.
and it's like
It's like that's lazy. That's fucking lazy. You can have it's not that hard to make a fucking puppet and find a puppeteer. My God, if we keep going this way, eventually the Muppets will be CGI.
Yeah, but you can tell nowadays too, and to get kind of leeway us back to the Jurassic Park franchise, but you can tell where that most of their budget is now being spent on uh the actors now. And I actually had a conversation with a good friend of mine. We were talking kind of about how no one cares about, I guess, this is like, it was like a catch-all term, but basically the people, like the behind the scenes, like all the names on the 8 minutes of credits, no one cares about them, and chances are that they're underpaid. But because of that, they can pay the actors as much as they want to get them on board with the project. It's not about the animators, it's about the actors, and in most cases that's kind of true.
I mean, that's the case with a lot of like movies nowadays. It's about selling the name, not like the movie, and like the name of the actors and maybe even the director. But it's not about everybody else. Just winds up getting screwed over in the process because of it.
Yeah, and I'm hoping to save this for another video, but I'm gonna quickly touch on Lightyear right here. But the fact that they got Chris Evans, who is a fine actor in his own right, but the fact that they're casting live action actor or people who specialize in live action, the fact that they're putting him into voice acting, it's like they can do whatever they want, but it hits me the wrong way, because then the people who actually voice, because I will always stand by that acting and voice acting are two completely different skill sets.
Two completely different things.
Yeah. And the fact that they keep casting people who normally do live action as like voice actors, it's like what you said, they're just trying to sell the movie. Because like I'm sure there were plenty other people who were qualified, as people who do voice acting for a living. And it's not to say that Chris Evans' performance was like, bad or anything. He did a decent job. But it's like, why are you casting him? And it just brings me to like this weird little like thought process, because it's like, I feel like some studios would cut corners, or not cut corners, but I feel like it would be cheaper. No, or it's hard to think, because like I'm sure another actor's rate who's not as well known, the rate would not be as high, but they're still willing to like put that money into Chris Evans just to have his name on the poster.
Right. No, there's like a whole like different story about that can like definitely be described like for another, like save for another day. We go into more detail about it, but for the most part, yeah, it really is just they're trying to get that name on the poster.
And that's what happened in some regards, Jurassic World. Yeah, to get us back.
To get us back to Jurassic World, we really went off tangent there with like CGI and things, but like, yeah, no, that's what they did with Jurassic World, especially this new one, because not only are they then coming in marketing Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard, who are more, you know them for that, you don't know who the fuck their characters are, you just know them as Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard. You then have the added bonus of, we're also bringing back the original like trio from the first movie.
And even
Henry Wu.
Yeah, for whatever reason. But even then, it's like, and it's a clear difference of how much Hollywood, I guess, has changed. Because when Jeff Goldblum appeared, okay, so let me rewind a little bit back. When Chris Pratt appeared, I was like, oh, it's Chris Pratt. But when Jeff Goldblum appeared, he has the same, I guess, celebrity status as both Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard. But when he appeared, I didn't say, oh, Jeff Goldblum. My first reaction was Ian Malcolm. Exactly.
Yeah.
My first reaction to all the original characters were their characters, not their actors. Characters.
Right.
And that's the whole performance thing, where it's like nowadays we don't, like I said, we don't care about the characters or whoever's behind it. We care about the actors.
Yeah, I guess so. I never really thought of it like that, but yeah, I guess Hollywood has really changed to that point where it's like the characters don't matter anymore. It's the actors playing the characters. Yeah, that's actually a great point about it. But I don't know. I actually, for the most part, really did like like I said, I thought their story was stupid, but I did like the original trio being back together. It was handled a lot better than the Star Wars sequels. I can tell you that much.
Yeah.
Because they were actually together.
Yeah, and it felt,
So,
and their performance was like given in a way where it felt like I felt like they were glad to be back in those roles. Like they just
mhm.
kind of slipped seamlessly into them.
They were all happy to finally be back. They actually felt like the characters at that point after like all those years. It was actually very nice. I actually really did like all of their stuff together. It was
Mm.
nice to see them back together.
Although I will say I did not like the I guess the lonely Alan Grant subplot and the fact that he ends up
Hmm.
getting with, because everyone, I feel like people I guess ship them in the first movie, but in my mind it
Yeah,
was never like that. It was
yeah.
more it was because they were surviving. That's not the point. That wasn't the point of the movie. But in this movie, it felt one off and two weird because in context, I think the actors are like a little bit more than 10 years apart, and in the
Hmm.
book, the age gap is even bigger. And I liked them better as just friends or like really good colleagues and friends anyway. So it just didn't sit right with me. But some people were happy about it. And
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think that was actually, to be fair to the third Jurassic World movie, that was a point brought up in Jurassic Park 3. So, like, it's not the first time this has been done before.
yeah.
And real fast, I'm just a small little tangent. These movies retconned what the second movie had already. So, the second Jurassic World movie kind of basically said there is no second and third movie, but then the third Jurassic World movie said yes, the second and third Jurassic Park movies happen. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
And that's like, make up your fucking mind, because if those movies did happen, then there was a whole nother island, and you didn't even need to bring the dinosaurs to the mainland in the fucking first place. Fuck
Mm-hmm.
you.
Oh, and that. Oh boy, that brings in like a whole bunch of other like thoughts, but I think we'll get to it when we get to it. But that
Yeah.
whole Isla Sorna thing, I feel everyone forgets about Islas because it's only brought up in the movies where the action takes place on that island.
Yeah.
Anytime else, it's always because if you think about it, I'm pretty sure there's still dinosaurs on Isla Sorna. Like they haven't
Yeah, no.
left.
It is straight up, it is a government protected sanctuary. They're
Hmm.
still there. They're on that island.
And the
Type
whole
B.
yeah, the whole storyline of the second movie is actually kind of ironic because I know I keep bringing up the book, but the book is actually go check it out if you haven't read it. It's really interesting the differences. But at the how at the end of the second movie, Jurassic World movie, they're like, oh, they're just like, is that this is why I hate the British. Anyways, uh,
Yeah.
that British child was like,
Just
oh,
like
they're
me.
just like me, and she sets them
And then
free.
she dooms humanity. Yeah.
Yeah, the
Yes, I remember
irony the
that.
irony of that is that after in the first book at the end they bomb the island. They kill all the dinosaurs because they knew that they couldn't let them spread. Or I don't know if that was I
A
guess the
fucking
reason,
incredible ending.
but that's pretty much what happened. They like no joke. That's the reason the island is not is why they go to the second island is because they bombed the first one.
That's fucking incredible. What an ending.
Exactly. So I was like, so watching the second movie, I was like, so they decided to set them all free and just destroy the ecosystem. I was about to say the economy,
Yeah.
but I was like, dinosaurs don't spend money.
I mean, they might destroy the economy if they're destroying the ecosystem. Those things are oddly enough tied together. But yes, continue.
Or I guess people could, I guess anyway. But
Yeah.
the second movie was a stretch too because I was it it was how do I put it? It was not enjoyable, but it was something I wouldn't mind turning my brain off to.
Yeah.
Because like I said, dinosaurs, they are cool as hell.
Yeah.
And I think
I
that's
love
honestly the
dinosaurs.
only reason the Jurassic World movies have gone as long as they have is because of the
Dinosaurs.
dinosaurs. Yeah, dinosaurs.
No, okay. I'll be a little honest. It's the final Jurassic Park Domino was very disappointing because, as mentioned before, it should have been a movie about the dinosaurs rampaging in human society.
Hmm.
That's not what we got. We got locusts destroying our crops, thus destroying the economy and our food supply. Which then we get some dinosaur action at like the very end. I think honestly that's probably why the movie fails. There's not enough dinosaur turn your brain off moments.
Yeah, and it's kind of similar to the whole MonsterVerse franchise where people complained about there not being enough, but then critics have complained about there being too much. And it's
Yeah.
like, you know,
well, critics' opinions don't matter.
exactly. But it was just an interesting thing. But it's like that's the whole because the whole point of inserting the humans is to have characters we can relate to, and that's what made the original Jurassic Park movie so good is because we didn't see we didn't see like, oh, they're just misunderstood. It was literally just man versus nature. It was just like, you know, some of the dinosaurs were docile and they were pretty neat, but you know, like all things in nature, there are some things that just straight up try to kill you.
They'll kill you. Yeah, no, straight up. It's like the whole message of Jurassic Park is don't play God. Don't bring back creatures from the dead. Don't do that. That's bad. Don't do that. Not, you know, oh, they're just like me, for real.
Yeah.
And then let them loose into the world. Also, I got bullshit on the ending of Domino, where it's just like they have successfully integrated into our modern day environment within like a couple weeks. It's like, no, that's not how that works at all. Like, not even close. Rabbits have been in the Australian ecosystem for about 100 years, and it's not good. They still have these both. It is not like the Australian basically rabbits are like the biggest threat to the Australian like ecosystem because the Australian ecosystem did not evolve to have rabbits. So when rabbits were introduced, they like about 100 years ago, they started destroying the Australian ecosystem. They still have not come like anywhere close to finally being adapted to each other, like at all. Some bullshit had happened in a couple months.
When I saw the last scene, I was like, there is no way this is happening. I straight up thought that the Mosasaurus was going to like eat the blue whale or the whale. And I was like, what do you mean they're what do you mean they're interact or, you know, they're ecosysteming together? And it's like, what do you mean they're like doing that? And then the whole horses and Parasaurolophus thing, I was like, what is like, this was the movie where like my brain, it didn't hurt, but my brain, like, I kind of like retracted into myself and I was like, what is this? Like it was
you can't turn your brain off for this one, honestly.
Yeah, it was so dumb. It brought me out of my trance because like you know those times in movies where like you turn off your brain, it's going fine, but then like one of the characters does something or you see something that just kind of snaps you back and you're like, what the hell was that? It snaps you out of it.
It's like, wait, why did they do that?
Yeah, so hold on. What the hell is this?
What? Huh? Yeah, I know that feeling. That's happened like a lot of times in movies I really don't fucking like and TV shows. I get it.
Yeah, and I was, oh my god, the problem with this movie is that kept happening all the time. Every time my brain would start shutting off,
boom, movie, boom,
and then they kept, you know.
I find it really funny that they introduced a completely new character in this movie, and then like they treated her like, you know, a big fucking deal, but it's just like, who the fuck are you and why are you here? Like she's only, like she was literally only there to provide transportation to Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard. That was it. She had no relevance on the plot, like at all.
I thought she didn't need to be there. The lady in the white dress, she didn't need to be there either. One of my friends said that she looked like the Mirage from Incredibles.
Oh yeah, her. Oh my god, I forgot about her. I know who you're talking about though. Yeah, so I guess she has even less relevance on the plot because I forgot about her entirely. I'm pretty sure that's the same actress who plays Skye's mom in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. if you ever seen that.
I haven't, but you know.
Yeah. That's honestly all I know her from. I'm sure she's in other stuff, but that's quite literally all I know her from. I'm like 90% sure it's the same actress. But yeah, the
pilot lady.
Honestly, yeah, the fucking dinosaur trafficking lady. It really goes to show how unneeded. By the way, that's another subplot that they introduced in the one before that went nowhere and honestly meant nothing. But I mean, I guess kind of because they were trafficking it to the main villain, but not the point. The point is though is that she was not needed. We didn't need that subplot. Why was she even in the movie? Like she was so not needed. I even forgot she was a character until you brought it up.
Yeah.
She served the purpose of we need a really cool dinosaur chase scene. I'll let them out of their cages to do that.
Yeah.
And that was it.
And then I thought she was gonna have a bigger impact, but then she literally just dipped and just ran away. And then that's the thing. At the end of the movie, I was like, "Isn't there still dinosaur trafficking rings going on?" Like nothing was solved.
Well, in 20 years, when we hit Jurassic Universe, yeah,
that'll be the day.
The next Jurassic whatever trilogy, Jurassic Universe, Jurassic Galaxy, dinosaurs in space, you know.
I feel like that's a movie already.
I mean, probably. If not, we should make it.
Yes, we're gonna go to a pitch meeting and be, you know what, Jurassic World was fun, but I think it was too small.
We got to go bigger. Have you heard of space?
It's literally, oh my god, if we had a Jurassic World Guardians of the Galaxy crossover. And it would work because Chris Pratt.
Chris Pratt did both of them. Yeah, Chris Pratt is like, he steps out of the starship, he sees a velociraptor, is like, don't worry guys, I got this. Just like holds his hand out.
Star-Lord in the multiverse of madness.
Yo, can we get a multiverse of madness movie with just like all the characters Chris Pratt has played, like his character from Parks and Rec, Emmett from the Lego movie, fucking Star-Lord, you know,
and then
Owen from Jurassic World.
Yeah,
like I feel like that's Owen. Yeah.
But it was surprising how much stuff was put in this movie without it ever paying off. This was like, what was it? We were talking about the lady from The Incredibles, but then there was also the pilot lady who I thought was gonna have like, a bigger
that's what I was referring to.
But like,
yeah, she was in like all the trailers for it, and she literally was just there for transportation.
Mm-hmm. And they like, you know, that's fine, whatever, because there are other movies where they have like the characters that don't really do much, but they showed the picture of her like dad or something, or they showed like some picture. I thought they were gonna like build on that, and that's the thing. I know people like depth in characters, but I'd rather have a one-dimensional character than have someone put like what's that one thing? Chekhov's gun, is that what it's called?
Oh yeah, Chekhov's gun, where you set something up, you better have to have revolution and have some relevance by the. So like, you know, you introduce a gun at the beginning of the movie, you better have fired that gun at least once by the end of it.
Yeah, and it's like, I'd rather have a one-dimensional character than have a character with something set up that just nothing happens. Because they were trying, because I'm like 100% certain that they were trying to make us feel bad that her plane crashed. Like, oh, it was her dad's, or it was someone's plane. But then they're just like, oh, here's a new one. And she's like, yes. And what really bothers me is the fact that her ending makes it seem like they were going to give her a spin-off series. Which, no, please don't.
You're going to give a spin-off TV show?
It's like, please don't.
On, what's the streaming service for Universal? Is it Peacock?
I think so.
Okay, a fucking Peacock Jurassic World show.
What was her name in the movie anyways?
I don't remember. I remember her as Pilot Lady.
I like how in of the 2 episodes that we have so far, we can't remember the names of like important or so important characters. No, but like, what was her name?
Important quotation marks for Pilot Lady. Imperial British Lady was a little bit more important to the Obi-Wan plot than Pilot Lady was to Jurassic World Domino's plot. I'm gonna go to Letterboxd and look up the character name. You bring up whatever point you want to bring up.
What else happened in the movie? Let's see. Trying to think. Oh, I told you at the beginning of the video about the Mansoor thing, right? That my friend was,
Yeah, yeah, you did.
he was fully convinced because so here's his line of thought, and shout out to what's his name, Matthew, for telling me this in detail. But he said it starts off with the first movie, right? They try to weaponize the dinosaurs. They can't control them, right? The second movie,
Okay.
they introduce clones. You can now manufacture humans. You know what else they can do? They can manufacture genetic DNA to make, to create dinosaurs. And so he was like, those two technologies, at some point, he thought they were going to merge into creating genetically enhanced humans that can listen to orders and stuff. And he was expecting like someone to like walk out of the shadows with like a raptor hand or something.
Raptor hand. I'm not gonna lie, that's not a bad idea. That actually sounds very cool and like actual payoff for everything they've set up. Anyways, I think the pilot's names was Kayla Watts.
Really?
Yeah, very very memorable name. Yeah. Hey, but yeah, no, that fucking the human dinosaur thing, that actually sounds like it make it
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 sounds
actually
it
makes
sounds the
sense.
right amount of dumb for me to turn my brain off. Like,
Yeah.
it would have been
But
dumb, yeah, but it would have been enjoyable.
your friend's logic makes sense in this. Actually, I can actually see where he's coming from in it. I get it. I understand the thought process. Your friend is right. It should have gone that way. Fuck. That's way more interesting than what we got.
Yeah, ironically, Velocipaster is a better ending to the Jurassic World trilogy than Jurassic World
In
Domino
Jurassic
was.
World. Yeah.
Yeah,
Fucking Jurassic World Domino.
but it was all kinds of mess.
Mm-hmm.
But let's let it never be said that we are, what's the word, negative. We are pessimists.
Nancy.
Yeah, negative Nancy's pessimist. What's something that you enjoyed about Jurassic World Dominion Dominoes or whatever?
I think I've already said it, and I still stick by this. The original cast of characters from the first movie, they're like just them being together. They still work off of each other very well, and I really did like how they were all definitely happy to be there.
Same. And that was all the good things about it. Let's move on to
Yeah,
something
that's all
else.
good. Yeah.
Kinda,
I did. Oh, one more good thing. The dinosaur fight at like the very end, but that's just because it's a dinosaur fight. Of course, I'm gonna fucking like that. That's awesome. That's badass.
exactly. But speaking of the dinosaur fight, oh my god, it bothered me that they made a like what 10-minute trailer hyping up the Giganotosaurus just for him to go out like a wuss in the end.
Like a little bitch.
Yeah, and I was like, that was it. And they set it up in the movie too, where like the Giganotosaurus drives Rexy away, and I was like, what?
Oh fuck.
But
Oh shit.
yeah, and I was like, oh shit! It was like it was like the scene in I was hoping Rexy wouldn't die, but I was kind of expecting the Spinosaurus VT Rex scene from Jurassic World 3 or Jurassic Park 3. But no, my favorite dinosaur in this movie though was the Therizinosaurus. Homie literally just walked up to the deer and just slapped it out of the way. I found that really funny because like the fact that it didn't even eat the deer anyways. It was just in its way.
Yeah. That was funny. Yeah. No. That last movie overall just bad, but again, like the characters, you know what really fucking bothered me was there was this one scene that they kept showing in every single trailer where there's a T-Rex at like a drive-in movie theater terrorizing the people. That's not even in the movie.
No,
that is quite literally just trailer bait.
It was so much trailer, and the thing was they had a scene similar to it, but it was what was it? It was a smaller dinosaur. It was like what's someone with the horns? I'm blanking on the name.
The Triceratops? No, it's a Triceratops.
It's the one from the Disney movie Dinosaur, but it had the horns.
I know. Fuck! I know the one you're talking about, but I can't remember the name of it.
What was its name? I think it starts with a C. But anyways, you know what I'm talking. You know what dinosaur I'm talking about. They had that. They had that. It was more like it was more like a camping site, whatever. But I thought that's when it was going to appear. But no, they just had the trailer. And it wasn't even just in the trailers. They had like car ads that did the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Car
was like,
ads, insurance ads, fucking literally all of the ads for this movie had that drive-in scene, and it's just like it's not even in the movie. It's a fake scene.
and honestly, that would have been a pretty cool scene with like, I would have preferred that, not trailer, because remember that one scene where the T-Rex goes in front of the circle and you're like, oh, oh gee,
Mm-hmm.
that's the logo of the movie.
Oh, gee, homie. Hey, yo, that's the logo.
But like,
Yeah.
I would have preferred that happening at like a drive-in theater where like they're watching a movie and then all of a sudden like you see the T-Rex silhouette.
Mm-hmm.
But no, they
Yeah.
just did whatever the hell was
You
the
know what?
third
You know
act.
what? Remember how like the opening of this film was like the Mosasaurus attacked, and there was like basically exposition news dump on some shitty internet news site. What if
Yeah.
instead the opening of the movie was just the like people like gonna enjoy a nice like night at the drive-in movie theaters, and then the T-Rex comes and attacks them?
That would have
That's a
been so
much better
better.
opening movie.
And they could have
That's a much better opening movie.
they could have seamlessly did that too, as like, so I would, if I would have done the opening thing, I would have done the trailer park thing, and then I would have transitioned it from like camera like like the actual thing to like found footage from someone's camera, like someone's like filming the and then it comes out to like a news site and it's just like, oh, they're kind of everywhere. And then because I feel like, because as much as I hate exposition dumps, let's be honest, we needed a little bit of exposition just because they just did like a whole jump. They released the dinosaurs and like two, because I honestly thought it was set like 2 days later or like a couple days later after the end of the first, but apparently it's been like months or years or something. Or
It's been like a few years, yeah.
Because they're everywhere now. And I knew this movie was gonna be so stupid when I saw Chris Pratt on horseback chase down
Cowboy Pratt.
Cowboy Pratt chased down. Like, I swear to God, like, I feel like they dress actors in a way where they're just like, all right, how many Lego minifigures can we get out of this one character?
Get out of them? Dude, fucking Chris Pratt has like 4 Lego minifigures.
Yeah, but oh my God, when I saw the cowboy hat, I lost all hope. And I lost even more hope when Chris Pratt he lassos a dinosaur and holds it with his own like strength and weight. And like you could be like, oh, he was holding the log or whatnot, but his arms would have been like, there's literally canonical evidence in the second movie that it takes a whole group of people to take down, what are their names? Parasaurolophus. It takes a whole group of people to take and they had tranq darts. This guy just straight up lassoed a dinosaur and then just boom, he had it. And that was a weird
thing. He put it in a chokehold, knocked it out.
Like, what was their point there too? Because there was a whole herd of them. They captured one, and that was it. I was like, I thought they were like, I thought they were hurting them. No, they just went to go grab one.
No, they captured one.
And it's like, well, job's well done, dudes. Let's go home. And it's like, what?
Well, we did it, guys. Mission accomplished.
We did it, Patrick. We saved the city.
Saved the city.
Yeah.
The T-Rex is slaughtering people in the background.
Yeah, but oh my God, that scene with Chris Pratt, oh, that was rough.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That whole movie was rough, honestly.
Oh, I had this thought, but going back to the Mansour idea, my friends and I were joking because he was explaining this to me, and I was thinking about it, and I was like, that's just the plot to The Amazing Spider-Man. And,
my God, it is.
And it's the same actor too. The Peter's dad is the same actor that plays Lewis in this movie.
Was he really?
Yeah, it's the same dude. And I was like, this would have been the exact same movie.
What if The Amazing Spider-Man and Jurassic Park movies take place in the same universe?
Yes, and they could have pushed it even further if they used the genetics of the Dinosaurs and used it to make who? Weapon X. Boom. That's how.
Wolverine.
Wolverine is just a Mansour confirmed. That's where he gets the 3 claws. It all makes it's all connected. It truly is a multiverse of
There's a
madness.
madness.
Oh my
It
god, but
truly was a Jurassic World.
Dominion, Domino,
Yes,
truly.
Domino.
That was my
Truly.
favorite line.
I
Oh, but
really loved when they were like, and this is some of my favorite lines from all the movies where John Hammond's like, "Welcome to Jurassic Park," and then the next one, Jeff Goldblum was just like,
this truly.
"Man, this this really is Jurassic Park: The Lost World."
It's funny because they actually name dropped the lost. They say the Lost World in the movie at the beginning, where John
And at the
Hammond's
end,
like he was like he was talking to or he was talking to Ian Malcolm, and he was like, before this lost world is found
Lost
and
World.
pillaged. And I was like, that's the, he said the thing.
Yeah,
Oh man.
yeah. Then like, in the third one, they're just like, "I can't believe we're gonna be at Jurassic Park third
Three.
time."
I can't believe we're
Yeah.
gonna be the Jurassic Park slash, because that was how they did the three, right? It was like the slash.
It was like the slashes, yeah, the claw marks of the raptors.
Oh man, but
Uh, yeah, and then we have Jurassic World where Chris Pratt's just like, "This is truly a Jurassic World."
what was the
I don't
second one
remember.
called? Oh,
I
Fallen
was
Kingdom,
like,
right?
"What the fuck was Fallen Kingdom?" It was like the Jurassic World Fallen. It's like the Fallen Kingdom of the Jurassic World.
I was
And then
thinking
this
about it
one,
right now, and
and then I really loved it when the entire original cast and the entire new cast were just like, "This truly has been the dominion of the Jurassic
Jurassic
World."
World franchise. But I was thinking
Yeah.
about it, and I find it weird how the second movie, like, okay, so we every TV show or most TV shows have like filler and stuff, and it makes sense because like
Mhm.
most of the time it's like one episode out of like 20 or something, and
Mhm.
it's only 20 minutes, not that bad. But if you think about it, the second Jurassic World movie is kind of like filler.
It's an entire filler
It
episode.
was it was a 2 hour and 30 minute filler episode just to get to the third one. Because honestly,
Yeah.
I'm blanking on what I know they make the Indoraptor and the auction,
Mhm.
and those are the only things I know about that movie. Oh,
The volcano.
the
Oh my
volcano.
god, the volcano that didn't kill anybody.
Oh, now, oh damn it! Now I remember. It killed the Brachiosaurus. This is the first
Yeah.
one.
Only the Brachiosaurus, and that's like the only animatronic in the entire fucking movie.
Yeah, and I was, oh my god. That's how, now it's all funny back to me now. I remember, as much as I was like sad, I was like, oh, like not him. I could tell, I was like, they only chose him because people would then be sad. If it was any other dinosaur, no one would give a damn, or no one would care.
Mhm. I think just to pour more salt in the wound, like the director or somebody came out and was like, "Yeah, that's the same fucking
Yeah,
Brachiosaurus from the first film."
the one that does the little jump, and I was like, no.
It's like that's a even bigger fuck you. But then yeah, just like that. Again, this movie was very obviously made by somebody that doesn't understand how nature works, because lava from the volcano does not instantly kill a dinosaur. Chris Pratt survives volcanic ash,
Yeah,
uh,
he straight up
which is
runs
like
from it.
millions of degrees hot. He should have died.
I was gonna say, isn't it like, so like, for most part, like it's hotter than lava, or it's at least reaches
Mm-hmm.
like the same
It's same temperature, yeah.
and he just brushed it off, like.
Mm-hmm.
And even if you didn't like know that, it was still dumb just watching him like run away. I was like, I was like, this is a thing. Because even in my
Mm-hmm.
even if you're not like a science expert or anything, it sets up that little, like, he would not have survived that anyways.
Right.
Um,
But it also raises a lot of questions that John Hammond would just build a theme park on an island with a volcano.
that was set to
Uh,
blow.
yeah, like, John, you good?
My
This
brother
is
in
where you want your
Christ.
theme park to be, right? But then begs another question, like, if, like, so say, like, the incident in the first Jurassic World didn't happen and the theme park was, like, still up and operational, what the fuck would have happened then?
Yeah, imagine it's about to blow, and it's like, no, we need their money. People are getting bored of dinosaurs, and then boom, it goes off.
Boom, everybody dies. Volcanic ash kills them all.
It's the explosion from the book.
Yeah,
No,
they
but
bombed the island.
my I feel like this only So in Jurassic World, in the third Jurassic World movie, there is a scene where the villain of the movie grabs a can of, what was it, Barbasol or something like that.
Barbasol,
Yeah, he
yeah,
grabs
the
that,
shaving cream.
which is hinted to be the can from the first movie, and it's like, oh, that's cool. You know,
How did he
not
get
cool,
it?
but like not cool, but it's like it like kind of flicks at like, oh, you know, it was from the first movie.
Mm.
But how did he? Oh, that's
Yeah,
not,
how did he get it?
because not only did okay, so this has to go through like a whole like thing, because I think we talked about this.
Yeah,
But
Nedry dropped it in the middle of a forest, and remember, Nedry was like going like off-roading when he was trying
yeah,
to get to the docks,
he was off
and
the
nobody
trail.
even knew where he went.
Exactly. He dropped it. It gets covered in mud, and then okay, so in the Jurassic World the game, the can, it's I don't think it's canon, but the can gets stomped on by the T-Rex and makes it useless. So if you consider that canon, you know, the can's out. But if you consider like the canon that what actually occurs, the island gets blown up with a volcano. There's no way he, and in the thing it's like slightly scorched to like kind of like, oh, it was burned the volcano, but like that was on the island.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm like 95% sure you wouldn't have found it regardless of if it got touched by lava or not, even if it was hit by volcanic. That can was done for. And that's the weird thing too, where it's like, oh, he must have it for the embryos and whatnot. It was like in the first movie they were like, oh, you have like 36 hours to get it to us because then the embryos will die. What? Why was the can there?
The embryos are gone. They're not. They're gone, man. They're not coming back. You're not getting anything out of them.
Oh my god, it was. I am very. I'm not happy with Jurassic World. To me, it was like I said before, it was the most transparently Hollywood movie I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Oh man.
It's not a good film.
By any means.
Yeah.
But if you watched it and you liked it, you know, I get
Good
that
for
checked
you,
out.
I guess.
I would have a talk with my therapist if I were you.
Yeah, okay. Something of a lot of people, but a Jurassic World Dominion fan.
Not one of them.
Yeah.
Oh man. Honestly, okay, so I actually have a theory of why this movie franchise, because we said the first one was decent, right? The first one was good. In the 3 Jurassic World movies, there are British characters, or at least there is at least one British character. You know what happens to the British character in the first one? She gets eaten.
She gets eaten.
You know what happens to the British character in the second and third one? She does not get eaten. She lives.
I see. The British person lives, and that's why these movies are so bad.
Exactly. That's the whole point. That's why the first one was good, because you know, people will cry, "Oh, British representation." It's like, nope, that's the curse. That's not what that's not what we need. You know, that's like the
British people. We need less British.
Yeah, we need less British in our movies. You know, every time there's a British person on screen, I'm like, you know, if there's like a monster, it's like I hope the monster eats it.
Yeah. Oi, blimey, mate, they're just like me. For real, they just like me.
I hate how that's literally the conversation they have in the second movie. It's just like, damn, they like me for real, and then she sets them loose.
Let them go. It's just like, you know, because like every other character is like making the right decision here. Is just like, they're dying. What do? I don't know. We can't release them because then they'll wreak havoc on the world. What's the smart decision? And the right decision is to, you know, let this happen because we've played God long enough. And then she's just like, damn, they just like me for real, and lets them out.
Exactly. And it's like, and it's the funny thing is that like this is, in the first movie they're like, this is a species that's, you know, they have a whole scene about it. It's like they had their shot. You know, we can't be doing this. But in this one, I think what I hate even more is that like in the real world, even like things that aren't extinct, if you what's the word, disrupt the balance, it's still bad, even if it's not an extinct animal. Like if you like you said with
Hmm.
like the Australian bunnies, there's too many of them, you know, and so
It
it
also
destroyed the.
no, you know what? The dodo bird is probably like an even better example because those got the dodo bird completely extinct now, but that's only because they evolved to have no natural predator in the area, so they didn't, need to worry about that. And then here come like the fucking like settler, like the colonizers with their hunting dogs and guns and stuff, who then decide to hunt the dodo bird. And the dodo bird, can't fly away, can't fight back, and is very docile because, again, the dodo bird was evolved to have no predators.
Mhm.
Nobody messed with the dodo bird. And
Yeah,
now they're all gone.
and it's like that's and every time they tried bringing up something like, I guess, scientific or something, it's like, I'm not a scientist and even I know that's bullshit. Like,
Yeah, no, this movie obviously doesn't understand fucking science.
all right, so I think now is time to ask the important question. So in all the Jurassic, in the entire Jurassic Park franchise, there's always been the stand-in kid character, and I think
Mm-hmm.
it's time we. I think it
Talking about the
just
worst one? Like,
just for shits and giggles, I think it's time we power scale.
okay, all right, we're gonna I'm down to power scale them. So I think the strongest one is the kid from Jurassic Park 3.
I
Just
agree.
right off the bat, he is the strongest, no question. This man was able to fight off both the T-Rex and the Velociraptor on his own and survive in the wilderness with no help but anyone from himself for weeks on end.
That
He
kid
is
was
the strongest.
adaptable. Yeah,
Yeah,
I feel
he
like
is the
that
strongest.
wasn't in question. I think right now it's just to figure out who's the worst.
Yeah,
I think, like, honestly, I
I
feel
think
like
the
we
British.
already
I think the
the
British
British.
one that just went, oh, they just like me for real and opened the door.
Yeah, not only because she's British, but because she made that dumbass decision. So we know the top and bottom of our list.
Mhm.
Now it's time to.
And the middle. We gotta figure out the
And
middle.
I honestly, like, I know I said that for, like, for fun and whatnot, but it's actually interesting how there's a bunch of child characters and all, like, each movie
Hmm.
has its designated child character,
It
where
does.
it's like
Yeah.
where they
Mm.
act more like the audience insert than the people than the adults, which I think
I
is.
think. I think the second strongest child character is Ian Malcolm's daughter from the second one,
Oh yeah, because she took
because
out
she kicked a fucking Velociraptor through a window.
yeah, and I'm safe to say that she got the kill for that one.
Yeah.
Because even if the Velociraptor survives after that, it's, it has a gaping hole in its stomach.
All right.
So
So
I think
top
combat
two.
wise, she would beat the kid, but I feel like the kid from Jurassic Park is more adapted, more like,
Yeah, he's able to adapt to his environment very well. So they are definitely the top two. British girl from the last two movies is definitely at the bottom. So then that leaves us with the nephews from the first Jurassic World and the
grandkids
grandchildren
from the
from the
first one.
first Jurassic Park movie. I would say that the nephews from the first Jurassic World are higher up than the grandchildren from the first Jurassic Park.
Yeah, I like. I prefer the performance, like, performance wise. I'd go Jurassic Park, you know, all
Mm-hmm.
the way. But I think as far
Power
as what
scaling
we, yeah,
wise,
power scaling wise, only because I'm pretty sure the Jurassic Park kids are not only younger, but they
mhm.
didn't do as much.
they
Like,
they like did nothing. They just kind of screamed, and Alan Grant saved them the whole time.
yeah.
The
Although I
most
will
they did
say,
was they locked one Velociraptor in a freezer. That is the most they did.
yeah, I will say, out of anyone in the list, Timmy has the highest durability because homie straight up tanked. He straight up tanked a voltage meant for dinosaurs,
Or
and he
dinosaur,
survived.
like a full-on T-Rex, and so he does. Yeah, he can tank. Timmy is a tank, and then like I don't. And the granddaughter, she's good with computers. That was like her whole character thing.
Yeah,
Although I'm just saying, Timmy could have helped out with the gun thing,
he could have
when
just
they're
kicked the gun.
trying. He
Yeah,
wasn't doing anything in that final scene.
yeah. What
It's
was
like
this? But
Timmy, hand them the gun.
but the Jurassic World kids did, I guess, do more, and I don't think being able to hack would
Mhm.
help them and would help the Jurassic Park kids in a fight.
Yeah, so I would, yeah. Well, Timmy can tank. I gotta give it to the to the nephews from Jurassic World.
No, now that I'm thinking about it, like the fence was designed I don't think it would have killed a dinosaur, but it was enough of a shock for a dinosaur
And
to be
like
like,
knock it out.
yeah, to be
Yeah.
like, ouch, that's painful. I don't want to do that again. Tim, like the fact that he just like tanks, like, and no,
It
but this
takes the shock.
my homie Timmy gets electrocuted, and then he makes a joke saying 3 when he wakes up. That's the first thing he does. He finishes the countdown. My guy ain't no quitter. My, Dang, that's
Man.
like we should all aspire to be Timmy. Just
We all gotta
tanking
be a Timmy.
large amounts of
Yeah.
voltage.
You definitely be a good tank it. So like if we were forming like an RPG party, like all the kids, we're not gonna use all of them, but Timmy would definitely be there as the tank of the party.
Yeah, if I was forming a Suicide Squad with the Jurassic Park kids, I would put the older sister from Jurassic Park in the control room along with what's who else is along with the actually no just her. I would use the older brother from Jurassic World, the British girl, and the British girl as bait. And then I would use Timmy as tank.
Yeah.
The Jurassic Park 3 kid as the leader, and then Ian Malcolm's daughter as
Gymnastics.
yeah, gymnastics, basically the what's it called, the combat expert.
The combat expert of the group. Yeah, I agree with that team. I agree with that party.
Now that I think about it though, I feel like I would put the Ian Malcolm's daughter in first place as far as combat wise goes. I feel like she could take out the Jurassic Park 3 because I feel like the Jurassic Park 3 kid, like he's adaptable and smart and stuff, but like as far as I guess, and I know this sounds dumb as you, but it's kind of fun. But as far as feats are concerned, he hasn't killed a dinosaur.
That is true. Okay, so I guess I would describe it like this: the Jurassic Park 3 kid is like the Batman of the group, whereas Ian Malcolm's daughter is like the Superman.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. You know, I wouldn't say he's the most powerful, but damn it, if he can't adapt to a situation really well, and
He's a great tech. Yeah, he's like great at
he's
figuring
like the
out plans and
demolitions
strategies.
expert, but not like he serves the same
Yeah.
purpose where he has to like just
Right.
he has like only 3 things to like build a bomb or something, and then he does it anyways.
Yes.
Although I will say, getting T-Rex piss is no easy act in itself.
That's no easy feat. Just say. That's you did it. I mean, so that's pretty impressive on its own.
It'd honestly be pretty funny if he had to like if he took down a T-Rex for that.
They never said he didn't.
It's up in the air.
It's up in the air. It's up to you, the audience, to decide. But yeah, I think I would put the Jurassic Park 3 kid and Ian Malcolm's daughter on the power scale. Like, I would put them equal to each other, basically.
Yeah. They got some pretty impressive feats under their belt.
Yeah. This is one of the dumbest things we've done, but it's
really
based in
funny.
fact, so.
I like how we came to the conclusion that Timmy was the tank just because he and it's like canonical.
It's
feats
canonical.
Too. Yeah.
It's canonical. You can visually see it happen. It's canonical.
Oh my god, that's hilarious. And yeah, like Lex would be the hacker of the group. She's Amanda Waller.
He's the Amanda Waller.
But what's the British kid?
British girl's bait.
Yeah.
And then the nephews are like they would just be like assistants to the Jurassic Park 3 kid.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot the little kid was. And I guess if you were to pair him up, because I feel like the older brother could beat Lex in a fight, but I feel like Timmy could beat the kid in the fight.
Timmy could beat the younger one.
Yeah. Not only because of the tank, but Timmy is like the younger one just. Oh, that was one of the things I found kind of dumb, in Jurassic World, the first one, was the fact that in the end he's like, we need more teeth, and like that sounds cool,
But doesn't make any sense.
like it sounds cool, but like in the not the ironic, but like the implication of we need another dinosaur to take the Indominus on. The problem
Mm-hmm.
is you can hear him muttering, or you can hear him like mutter, like slowly, softly counting the amount of teeth. So it doesn't come across as like we need another dinosaur. It comes across as we
With
physically
literal teeth.
need a dinosaur with
More
with
teeth.
more teeth. Like he's basically saying that the Indominus has this many teeth. We need like the dinosaurs we need to fight the Indominus. Their amount of teeth has to be more than the Indominus in order to beat him. And I was like,
Right.
that's kind of dumb.
He's the mathematician of the group.
And the fact that he's counting how many teeth there are, like, bro, like, how are you seeing this?
He's the mathematician of the group. It's that simple. Yeah.
I guess I would put him in the control room with Lex, but he's one of the computer guys.
He's a computer dude. He's not a combat on the field guy. He's not a field operative.
I like looking back on it now, like saying it out loud, it kind of sounds ridiculous that the kid got T-Rex P and Ian Malcolm's daughter killed a velociraptor.
Killed a dinosaur, but it's canonical.
That's the weird thing too, where she's the only person on this list to have killed a dinosaur in hand-to-hand combat in the entire Jurassic Park franchise.
She killed a dinosaur in hand-to-hand combat. No one else can claim that.
She's technically the only human to kill a dinosaur. In the because you could be like, oh, what about the people with guns? It's like, yeah, I guess they could have, because I don't think we see any like on-screen humans killing dinosaurs, do we?
Yeah, with the exception of Ian Malcolm's daughter.
Oh, that's hilarious. So like looking back on this in the second movie, it deserves more love than it's getting right now.
Than what it gets, yeah.
Yeah, because it's not that bad of a movie. Like I remember when I watched it the first time, I thought the RV thing was really cool, and I was so sad.
That's a great scene.
I was so sad when what's his name died, Eddie.
Eddie, yeah.
And
that was sad.
And to kind of tie it back to another point we made earlier, the fact that I can remember Eddie's name, because I don't know when the last time I watched the movie was, but I remember Eddie's name. But I can't remember the pilot lady's name. Just you told it to me like 15 minutes ago. I can't remember her name.
I can't remember it either, and I looked it up 15 minutes ago.
And I watched the movie. I watched that movie like, I don't know, like 2-3 weeks ago. It just kind of goes to show how impactful certain characters are if you like give them the screen time and the story that they need. Like, because if you think about it, like Eddie wasn't that interesting of a character, because like he honestly, his role was the technician of the group. But like his role in the fact that like in that one scene of the RV, the fact that he sacrificed his life to save them, and that he didn't like run away or anything, like that speaks a lot more volumes than whatever the hell pilot lady did,
Right.
And it's like why couldn't they? I'm not saying she should have died, but why didn't she do anything else? Like there was a lot more you could have done with her.
Yes. Pilot lady, very unmemorable. Yeah, like I just looked up her name. Can't remember it. I do remember Eddie.
Yeah, Eddie was what was the real one.
And
then there was the fact that I can remember what the hunter's name too, Roland.
Oh Roland, yeah. It's just it's again, it just goes back to the whole problem with Hollywood. They're just like they're not focusing on the characters, they're focusing on the actors playing the characters.
Yeah. And it's like it's funny to think how the original Jurassic Park was technically a Hollywood movie too, or like a blockbuster, but like the difference between Jurassic Park and Jurassic World Dominion, just like the priorities set there, it's insane. It's massive, and it's like I really don't like the fact that I'm not liking the fact that movies aren't being made to be timeless anymore. They're being made for cash, or for a cash.
Yeah, their cash grabs in the now. Right now was popular, not somebody actually trying to make like a story that can like last forever and will still be remembered fondly years down the road.
Yeah, and it's like it's in an ironic sense. It's the fact that those things were timeless, and is why we're having a bunch of these reboots. It's because a lot of these are like, you know, people will say, oh, it's franchises and stuff, but there are some older movies out there that are technically franchises that like aren't getting reboots because they weren't timeless, you know. But it's the Jurassic Park franchise has gone through a lot.
Yeah, that it has. That it has.
Yeah, but is there any other final thoughts you wanted to get through?
No, I think I've said my piece with this franchise overall.
Yeah, I think I have too. Well, that's it, folks. We gave our opinions on the dinosaurs, and in summary, dinosaurs, great. Hollywood, not so great.
Gotta testify. Come up in the spot looking extra fly. For the day I die, I'ma touch the sky.